And we're live. Hello all and welcome. And I am the Realist Philosopher. And this is the Realist Philosopher live call-in show. So how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. Doing all right. A little tired. Feel a little beaten down. That's life. That's life. So anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing well. A lot of wacky stuff occurring in the news. I think I'm just going to jump right to current events. Actually, it's been a very slow news week. I had a problem finding any decent stories to comment on. Oh well. You can always count on people's craziness to provide you with something. You just have to have the diligence to search. All right. So listen to this crazy nonsense. California governor. California. See, of course. Of course it's California. As if they weren't doing a bad enough job already, right? All this posturing that they want to leave the union. No, they don't. Then they'd lose all that nice, juicy federal tax money that they get, right? They wouldn't be able to afford to continue operating. Not that they can now either, right? From diapers to child care, we want to end the tax on tampons and diapers. Yeah, because, populism is rising, and we have to give away ever greater amounts of free shit and pander to waymen so that we can stay in power. We being the fucking Democrats, not me. I'm talking about them. Fucking Democrats. Oh, God. So crazy. No tax. No tax. It's not as if women pay taxes right now anyway, right? Do they pay tax? No. Women don't effectively pay a tax. On average, they're in fact in debt when they die to the system. When men die, on average, they're at zero, right? They've essentially put in X amount, taken out Y amount. In the end, they're even Steven, right? But waymen, when they die, on average, they're $150,000 in the toilet that they've withdrawn from the system. Not even Steven, not even close. Notice Steven's a guy. It's not even Jane, because women never, ever end up even. They always take more than they put in. And that's the nature of waymen. Can't do anything about that. That's fine. All right. I wish that they would acknowledge it, though, at the very least. But no, we're equal to the man. This is what annoys me so much. And I just realized, shows like Game of Thrones, I know, again. I had people asking me why. Why is it, though, that they feel the need to beat the man down? Why can't they just hold the woman up? Why do they feel this need to pull the man down and then hold the woman up at the same time and say, look at her and then look at him, so pathetic? Well, that's it, right? Women hate men. Feminists hate men, that is. And this feminist agenda that is being pushed by feminists, it's all about bashing men, okay? And proving that they're better than men. Feminism's not about women proving how great they are. They could do that without having to bash men. No, it's about competing with and beating the men. Of course, the only way to do that is to hamstring us, to get us to hamstring ourselves, actually. Because they're not really strong enough to actually, literally hamstring us, right? They have to manipulate us into doing it. So, there's a lot of red pill guys out there, see this, and a lot of blue pill simps who don't. And they hamstring themselves. And the men that don't hamstring themselves, they call names and try to shame. But anyway, from diapers to childcare, raising kids is expensive wherever you live. You don't have to have them. Nobody told you to have kids without a husband. Nobody told you to have kids without a husband and have a life that has a lot of expenses because you were too stupid to find a good man. Nobody told you to embrace feminism and make yourself hideous. To shave all your hair off like Sinead O'Connor, look like a fucking cue ball. Nobody told you to do that. Nobody told you to look like the fucking ancient in, what was that, Doctor Strange movie? Who told you to do that? You could have a man if you didn't get fat and bloated and embrace some man-hating ideology and talk about how men are evil and toxic masculinity. Yeah, if you didn't make yourself so intolerable, you could have a husband, and then you'd have two incomes, and then you wouldn't be poor, and then you wouldn't have to be bitching and moaning about having to pay a tax on tampons and diapers. Oh, boy. What are you running around jumping from bed to bed to bed for anyway? Don't you know that can get you pregnant? I want to get pregnant. I want children just without a man. Yeah, okay. But when you factor in the cost of living here in California, it's close to impossible to have kids and raise them. If you're a single mother, yeah. Yeah, and most of the mothers in California are single mothers. And this is the state that we want deciding federal elections and the presidency, right? Because all these states are trying to make it so that the popular vote decides the next president, not the Electoral College. And yeah, we want California deciding who will be president. Some 3-foot-tall midget from India who's also trans and gay. Yeah, we want that as our next president. I don't think so. Maybe a 3-foot tall gay trans midget would be a good president. I don't know. I wouldn't elect him for those reasons, though. He'd have to have actual merit. While the left, they would elect him because he's a gay trans midget. Anyway, yeah, California Governor Gavin Newsom wants to end the sales tax on tampons and diapers and use revenue from legal marijuana sales toward enhancing child care programs. Yeah, because you got to keep the single mamas in your pocket so they'll vote for you. Those items are part of a parent's agenda, Newsom announced Tuesday in a preview of revised state budget he'll present later this week. Do they even have a budget? I mean, don't these motherfuckers just say, let's just buy what we want? We'll let our fucking grandkids worry about paying for it. Do they really have a budget? They overrun it by huge amounts every fucking year. Why do they even bother? Why do they even bother making a budget? Let's just spend what we want. Let other people pay for it because, we're socialists. As anyone who takes care of kids can tell you, these costs add up. And are you married to the mother of your kids, Mr. Newsom? And is the mother of your kids getting welfare and sponging off the state and getting child care from you, even though she booted your ass out because she wasn't feeling fulfilled? And meanwhile, now you, the man, have to pay for 2 households because you're living somewhere else in some fucking shoebox because you got to give her child support and alimony. And all that money paying for that shoebox and that separate household could be going to supporting one combined household with you and her and the kids, but she don't want it because she doesn't feel fulfilled. Are you living in that circumstance, Mr. Newsom? Or are you with the mother of your child? He's probably with the mother of his child. Oh, boy. So Newsom says, according to the excerpts of his remarks released by his office, it's too expensive to be a parent. From diapers to childcare, raising kids is expensive. Yeah, you've said that a lot. But when you factor in the cost, okay, why is it repeating itself? Well, I'm getting repetition here. I hate when these articles have fucking multiple lines with the same shit being said. So he goes on to say, cutting the diaper and tampon tax would eliminate about, 55, so let me get this straight. Single mothers, by the fact that they are single mothers, have made bad choices. They chose the wrong guy, or they were just intolerable and he couldn't live with them, or she couldn't live with him because of feminism, which has made me strong, but totally incompatible with a man. And living with a man because, it makes us hate men. So because of their own bad decisions, they're in a situation where they need more money. So what do? Well, we're giving them enough welfare already, so much that we're broke. So let's just cut their taxes. Let's cut their sales taxes. No sales tax on diapers and tampons. And he estimates that that would eliminate about $55 million in revenue. Well, that's great. So you're spending boatloads of money on all these welfare programs and buying all these fucking needles for San Francisco and cleaning up all the shit on the streets because apparently homeless people, they can't make it to a bathroom. There's plenty of public bathrooms, from what I understand, in San Francisco, both porta potties and public restrooms alike. But apparently, they got to take a dump on the street. They got to mark their territory, like all low IQ Neanderthals do. And so, your idea, your brilliant solution is to cut revenue when what you need is more revenue because you're spending like a drunken sailor. I see. His childcare proposals, meanwhile, would cost about $130 million. I love it. You gotta love liberal math. I'm gonna cut the tax on diapers and tampons while at the same time increasing spending. Where are you gonna get the money for these increased costs? Pull it out of my ass. Okay. So 130 million, with about 80 million coming from taxes on legalized marijuana. Wait a second. I can do math. 80, 90, 90, 100. So, okay. So he's going to pay for 80 million of the 130 million with, it's great, by taxing marijuana, and then there'll be a $50 million shortfall. Where will that come from? Maybe I'll tax tampons and diapers. What a moron! Why don't you just offer these wonderful child care proposals without cutting tax on diapers and tampons, and then you'll be able to pay for it? Can't do that. I got to offer them a double whammy to make sure I get elected. And to make sure the waymen stay with me. Newsom also wants to give families with children under 6 a tax credit of $1,000. But his office did not say how much that would cost. Probably more than $130 million. Oh, my God. But that's okay. Somebody else will flip the bill, not me. Don't you just love how Democrats, which really is now the Socialist Party, don't you just love how they spend other people's money? You know. The proposal is about having a tax code that's gender neutral. Huh? Well, how is it a gender neutral tax code if you're giving women tax breaks on female products, but you're not? When was the last time a man got a fucking tax break? Huh? On anything? When? Ever? No, never. What about razors? What about facial razors, huh? Only men shave their faces. Women don't shave their faces. Well, most women, anyway, don't shave their faces. So, how about giving us a break on razors? No. The truth is, men are the only ones paying taxes, and we can't afford to give them a break. Okay. Yeah, this is crazy. Several other states, including New York, have already eliminated the tax on tampons. Yeah, notice they're all Democratic strongholds. Former California Governor Jerry Brown rebuffed eliminating the tax on menstrual products and diapers in 2016. He vetoed the proposals alongside 5 other tax-related bills, suggesting that such issues should be considered as part of the budget. But he included neither proposal in any of his future budgets. Good. Good. What do women deserve to get breaks for? Make bad decisions, pay for them. Work a few more hours to pay for your fucking tampons, bitches. Or just use some toilet paper. Just wad up some toilet paper and shove it up in there. You can, you could roll it up into like a doobie and... How's that my problem? What do we have to pay for your tampons? Oh, boy. So it goes on to say, tax breaks are the same as spending, said Governor Jerry Brown, somebody with half a brain. They both cost the general fund money. He wrote in his, not quite, but this is even more important when the state's budget remains precariously balanced. Therefore, I cannot sign these measures. Newsom said he has plans to maintain Brown's reserved approach to budgeting by limiting new ongoing spending, while proposing spending an extra $130 million on single moms and child care. Okay. Yeah. In January, he proposed a $209 billion budget. My God. His plan increased by about 4%, but pledged more than $13 billion to build the state's reserves and pay down debt. He proposed several $1 billion worth of new spending on child care. Oh, my God. I thought it was only $130 million. Now we're talking billions. Great. Education and housing for single mothers, of course, and also called for a new tax to pay for improvements to drinking water. Improvements to drinking water, I might add, that wouldn't even be necessary if you didn't have these hordes of illegal immigrants storming in and increasing the amount of water that you need by multiples. On child care, Newsom would spend an additional $54 million on county-run child care programs. Newsom also wants to spend $80 million in tax. Yeah, we got that, the marijuana. And then give women tax breaks. What a genius. Oh, God. All right, spent too much time on that shit. Let's move on. Oh, this is crazy. Well, this should have been in my... I didn't have enough time yesterday. I had too many crazy stories yesterday to cover, so I wouldn't have been able to discuss this anyway. But listen to this. Fucking allergies. All right, this is nutty. A wife scolded her husband after he grounded their 12-year-old daughter for trying to buy sex toys on Amazon. Okay. Jesus Christ, when was I 12? Fuck. Let me think. I don't want to do the math. I don't want to tell you people. It's, woo, am I old? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm not fucking Methuselah old, but I'm getting up there. This is cuckoo. This is cuckoo. Yeah, okay, all right. I'll do it just throw a number out there. Not 100% accurate. Let's say 40 years ago. Let's say 40 years ago, somebody tried to fucking buy a penthouse in one of those fucking gas and sips, right? A 12-year-old. What would happen? You get your ass kicked out. You take it up to the counter. Can I buy this and some Twizzlers? I'm not saying I tried to do that. What's going to happen? Well, you can buy the Twizzlers, but not this. You got to be 18. Yeah. Do you remember the magazines? This was before video, right? Had proliferated, and the only way you could watch a stag film, they called them stag films back then, but they were really porn, was to go to one of these sticky-floored porn theaters that showed films on 9mm, right? And then you'd walk into the gas and sip and all these magazines with the plastic that was oh so difficult to pierce, right? It just slipped right off. It just slipped right off. A lot of these places you go in, you'd have like 6 12-year-olds standing around looking at fucking stag magazines. The cashier didn't give a shit. They don't pay me enough for this. Fucking A. But you couldn't buy them. You couldn't fucking buy them at 12. That's for sure. But nowadays, it's perfectly okay to get sex toys for little kids. Really? I don't understand. What's wrong with this picture? A wife scolded her husband after he grounded the 12-year-old for trying to buy sex toys on Amazon. All right, now first let me say, I'm not a prude, okay? And I understand the 12-year-olds are going to look at porn. Usually it's their parents' porn. My dad had porn? Sure he did. My mother let herself go like every woman lets herself go. She slept in a separate bedroom. I think they went 7 years without having sex. I don't know why the hell he stayed married to her. Probably because he was a big fat slob, douchebag, drunk asshole, and nobody else would want him, right? Which was proven wrong, because when they got divorced eventually, he found some other hag and married her. So, there's a sucker for everybody. There's somebody for everybody, right? She was a sucker, by the way. Bad deal there. He got the better end of that deal. But anyway, yeah, sure, I'm not a prude, okay? 12-year-olds will look at porn, right, in secret, right? You sneak the shit. That shit that's hidden under his mattress or in a, locked foot locker that somehow you're able to get the combination to by, looking in his wallet because he's too fat and stupid to remember it. And then you find the combination in his wallet and you open the foot locker up and there's just this mountain of porn. Woo! Yeah, baby. But you're having to sneak around. Nowadays, this is perfectly okay. Now you got parents buying kids sex toys. What's going on here? Are all you leftist pedophiles? Are you all a bunch of sick fucks that like to diddle kids, and you like the idea of kids having sex, and you like the idea of your daughter banging herself with some big, giant, black dildo? Does that turn you on, you sicko fucks, you? So in a Reddit post, the husband explains that he caught his daughter looking at vibrators on Amazon. Yeah, Amazon sells that stuff, sure. You can get anything on Amazon. You can probably buy a fucking jetpack on Amazon. I don't know. All right, let's check this out. I think I queued it up in my pictures. There it is. Okay. It's crazy. It's so crazy when I came across this. I couldn't believe it. This is nuts. He's a pussy, by the way. Obviously, I would have been filing for divorce that day. So, I don't know what AITA stands for. So, blah, 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 blah. AITA for grounding my 12-year-old daughter because she wants to buy sex toys online and being mad at my wife because she encourages it. So you clearly married a feminist. It's probably one of these male feminists with buyer's remorse. He probably pretended to be all progressive and woke, and I'm a feminist too. I'm for female equality. Yeah, now he's got buyer's remorse. Uh-oh, that might have been a bad strategy to find myself a mate. Maybe I attracted the wrong wayman. Yeah, too late now, pal. Too late now. If you divorce her now, you're in the hole for 6 years of child support and 12 years. So alimony forever until she gets remarried, which will never happen because she wants that cheddar coming in from you. What an idiot. This is probably in California. I wouldn't be surprised. So background. Earlier this morning, I caught my 12-year-old daughter looking at vibrators on Amazon. Can you imagine that? Your daughter's at the coffee table with her MacBook. I mean, she's at, not the coffee table, but the breakfast table, kitchen table, whatever. We had 2 tables in our house. One we never used. We had we had the family room, kitchen, dining room, and then a living room with just a bunch of fancy furniture that nobody fucking sat on, and a dining room we used like once a year for fucking Christmas. And then we'd go to a relative's house for Thanksgiving. So like half the house we didn't use. Anyway, can you imagine you walk by the kitchen table and you see dildos and vibrators that your 12-year-old is perusing? Doesn't Amazon have something like a child lock thing? Like, if you register and you have to give them your age or something, isn't there just some kind of minimal security even? No, apparently not. But I think you can activate that on your computer, but it doesn't block everything. I mean, it might block porn sites, but Amazon's not a porn site. Well, I mean, in this case, yeah. But you probably buy porn on Amazon too, but who buys porn? You watch it online. Anyway, she didn't notice that I was standing behind her because she had her AirPods in listening to music. What's an AirPod? I don't know what an AirPod is. It's little, I guess it's little fucking, the buds that you put in your ears. Maybe it's a wireless deal, Bluetooth. So I had time to look over her shoulder and see what she was doing. When I finally realized what she was looking at, I slammed the MacBook shut. As you should. And by the way, where was your wife? All right, so first of all, good parenting. Both parents have to be on board, okay? And if one makes a decision and it's not like outlandishly wild, the other has to support it, okay? And if they don't agree, they discuss it in private. What you don't do is override the other's decision, especially not in front of the child. That's just going to create a lot of problems. When I finally realized what she was looking at, I shut it, so I took her MacBook away and grounded her for a month. I don't know about that. That might seem a little, a month seems like a long time. I don't know. By the way, how is she buying stuff on Amazon? I'm confused. How does the 12-year-old have an Amazon account? How does the 12-year-old buy shit on Amazon? When I was a kid, I didn't get a fucking allowance. I think I got an allowance for like 3 months. My brother got an allowance. Yeah, he got an allowance. Golden boy. He got a fucking allowance, douchebag. I didn't get an allowance, right? The moment he found some kind of excuse not to revoke it, he cheap bastard. Yeah. It wasn't very much, by the way. But yeah, I mean, that was the only money you had. How do kids these days? What are you giving them, these prepaid fucking credit cards and shit? Anyway, about 20 minutes later, my wife told me that she ungrounded her. Wow, divorce time. Look. Now, of course, the problem here is that they didn't sit down and hash out their parenting strategies before they even got married. Look, let me give you some advice to those morons out there who are considering getting married or who actually want to have kids, so you really don't have much of a choice because that's the best way to go about it. If you marry abroad, sit down beforehand and work out everything. Put everything down on fucking paper. How you're going to fucking parent. What is acceptable, what isn't, how you're going to punish the child. If one of us makes a decision, the other will not override it unless it's extremely egregious. And even then, you can't override it. You'd have to get with me and talk to me directly, and then we come to a joint decision. You can't have one child. You can't have the child thinking she can run to one parent and override the other. That just means you are ineffectual as a parent. And what are you doing there? You might as well not even be there. Go twiddle your thumbs for the next 6 years and let your wife raise the kid, which is, by the way, what's happening anyway with these nosy, mouthy, overbearing broads who are marrying men just for the convenience of having a human wallet. Right? You can pay for everything, honey, but you have no say in how our child gets raised. Really? Here's divorce papers, bitch. But this shit should never happen. You should have worked this shit out from the get-go. Everything is a fucking negotiation. So the wife ungrounds her. He has no balls. You already know this guy has no balls. That she's able to just snap her fingers and unground this kid. So she has no respect for you. No consideration for you. Wow. And then told me to give the MacBook back. What are you, her servant? Do you have any balls? What are you, a eunuch? What are you, Varys from Game of Thrones? Even he has more balls than you, pal. She was standing right next to her when she said it. So your daughter's the boss. All your daughter has to do is go to your wife and complain. And because your wife is a liberal nutjob who essentially will give your child anything she wants because, liberal! We can't constrain our child in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand how people don't understand what the word liberal means to these people. Liberation. Nothing at all can hold me back. If I want to jump out a 10-story window because I think I can fly, I should be able to do that, and my mommy should let me. Yeah. So they both had their arms crossed. Wow. What a toxic environment for a man. Talk about toxic femininity. I sat there for a while in silence. Pussy. Pussy! Put your foot down. Do you have feet? So you have no balls. You have no feet to put down. Pathetic. Dumbfounded by what my wife was doing. I got to go find this Reddit post. I hope it's still posted so I can maybe send this guy a message and talk to him. This is outrageous. I'm sure lots of media outlets have contacted this guy, though. He's probably on lockdown, So he was dumbfounded by what his wife was doing, and then he says, I refuse to give it back. My wife and I argued about it for about an hour, and then eventually she just gave our daughter the MacBook. Take it back! He just relents! Oh my God, are you a man or a mouse? I wouldn't give it to the wife. I wouldn't give it to my daughter. I would have taken it to work with me. I would have locked it in my desk. I'd have told you to go fuck yourself. I'm right. You're wrong. I'm the boss. You're not the boss. You want to be the boss? Divorce papers, bitch. Fine. You want to give our daughter big black cocks and vibrators and give all the bestiality porn in the world because that's progressivism in a nutshell. Do whatever you want. Fine. I won't be here for you to do that. I am going to leave you. Not trying to control her or anybody else. You're trying to control yourself and what you will and will not tolerate. See how quickly she relents. And if she doesn't, you're better off, pal. You're better off, and at least you have your balls back. It's so pathetic. Pathetic. What a pussy. This is the state of men. This is what I was talking about in my last show about crazy shit. How men have become so emasculated they can't put their feet down. They got no balls. They're not the boss. They're not the king of their own fucking castle. The queen's running around running everything. And she got your balls in her purse. By the way, did they have purses back in medieval times? I don't know. Probably. Yeah. Anyway, he goes on to say, neither of them are speaking to me. That's because you're a wimp. They get to enforce their will upon you and create this new paradigm where they're right and you're wrong, even though you are right. And since you went against them and you're wrong, they get to give you the silent treatment. You don't get to give them the silent treatment because you're the bad guy in their bizarro universe that they've created. Oh, boy, I'd get out of there. But I wouldn't marry a crazy broad like this to begin with. What an idiot. It's probably like that Bill Burr pinhead who married that big, gigantic Nubian Amazon because he was afraid of dying alone. I had to find somebody. I had to have a mulatto baby because, no standards. Yeah. But seriously. All kidding aside, don't get married out of desperation and have some fucking standards, gentlemen. All women do is talk about gotta be 6'4", 190 pounds, have a big cock, make $2 million or more a year, drive a Lamborghini. What do you got to bring to the table, honey? I have a well-used vagina, but I haven't popped any babies out yet. So it's still pretty tight. How about that? There's only 3.5 billion of those. Got anything else? Virtues, perhaps? Nah. So they're allowed to have standards, but you're not. Right, this guy clearly had no standards, wasn't even considering standards or virtues when he married this broad. Ay. All right. What a crazy story. What a crazy fucking story. So the man's wife and daughter stopped speaking to him altogether, and he ended up sleeping on the couch. I guess the reporter that published this story talked to him. My wife completely punked, said the man. She punked out on me in front of my child, and now it's going to be impossible to discipline her. Am I the asshole here? No, you're not. Your wife is the asshole. By the way, as an aside, has anybody ever noticed that nobody calls women these things? Nobody calls women assholes. They call them bitches and shit like that. Words that women say are unfair, stereotypical pejoratives that men shouldn't use, just like the word cunt. But I don't see them talking about the words that are almost always used with men that can apply equally to women. Your wife is an asshole. And yet another twist, one of the top this is great. One of the top responses to the original post agreed with the actions of the wife. Listen to this. This response is out of this world. It was too big for me to post, too wide, the formatting. It would have covered my face, so I'll just read it. YTA. What does that mean, YTA? Can't you... So you type a 300-word fucking post, but you have to do this shit with acronyms and stuff. Come on. Sex toys are safe and a normal way for someone to explore sexual pleasure. Really? Really? Wow, geez. I wish my mom and dad would have got me one of those blow-up sex dolls because, there weren't any big, giant silicone dolls when I was a little kid. Yeah, that would have been great. That wouldn't have been contributing to the delinquency of a minor, even though when I was growing up, if you gave kids porn, you went to jail. If you gave them sex toys, you went to jail. It was a crime. It's called contributing to the delinquency of a minor, among other things. Decency acts. I mean, what about decency? No, we're liberated. God. Oh, my Lord. Excuse me. All right. 12 is a totally normal age to be masturbating. Okay, I'll agree with that, but that's with your hand. Not with a big cock. It's a normal age to be curious, so what's your point? That doesn't equate to buying sex toys on Amazon. It's a normal age to start looking at porn. No! That doesn't mean it's good. And by the way, I don't necessarily think it's a good idea that kids that were at my age when I started looking at porn should be looking at porn. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. Normal, maybe, but is it good for you? Slamming her laptop shut and grounding her like that is only going to shame your daughter. What is it with these people? You can't be shamed. There's no shame. No shame. Shame doesn't serve any purpose at all. Yes, you shame your daughter about her sexual feelings and permanently damage your relationship with your daughter. Yeah, because not wanting her to be banging boys at age 12 and popping out a fucking baby that I'll have to pay for the next 18 years and it'll ruin her life. Oh yeah, that's not reasonable at all. That's not a reasonable concern. What you did as a father was harmful. Fuck you probably some big fat land wheel radical feminist man-hating bitch who would never in a million years find a husband that's saying this shit. Your daughter now knows not only that she can't trust you with intimate issues. I don't want my kid coming to me talking about getting buffed, but that you want to sexually repress her. You got that fucking right. You got that right. 12-year-olds need to be repressed sexually. I don't need no fucking 12-year-old girl banging boys. Learn some discipline and self-control. Get a fucking hobby. Join the Girl Scouts. Sell some cookies. You need to apologize to her. What? Fuck you, land whale bitch. You need to make sure she knows that nothing she was doing is wrong or dirty. You're mad that your wife punked you in front of your daughter. This is somebody that doesn't have kids, doesn't understand kids, has never even thought critically, logically, reasonably about how you would raise a kid. You grounded your daughter and took her laptop away. Ooh, we can't do anything to the precious children. Never, ever punish them. Yeah. Grow up to be entitled cunts like you fat pig. Yes. So it goes on to say, if I was your wife, I would have talked to you separately about it. Before, even this big fat land whale agrees that was not right to essentially confront him in front of the daughter for assuring my daughter that she is not grounded. I'm still going to countermand the man, though. I'm going to countermand him because, of course, his role, which should be 50-50, an equal partner, has no say. He has no say. It's my say that matters. Don't marry a feminist. Don't marry a feminist. Don't date a feminist. Don't pretend to be a feminist to get with a feminist, okay? They're altogether evil. You totally fucked up, man. This ain't 1950. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. 1950s were a wholesome time, okay? The country was in every metric better off in the 1950s. What's your problem with the 1950s, bitch? I didn't get to ride the cock carousel because there was shame. Yeah, we need more shame. Might have less big fat land whales like you sucking down enough food to feed half a dozen fucking starving kids in Africa. If your 12-year-old wants to masturbate and have a vibrator, see, you don't need any lessons in masturbation, okay? You're going to find it out pretty naturally, normally on your own when you're taking a fucking bath and, ooh, I'm washing there and it feels good. Do that some more. It's not complicated. But there's a difference between discovering things naturally and using your hands to buying a big black cock. Then you have to support her. No, I don't. Who says? Where are you getting this stuff? Your gender studies class? If you're uncomfortable with talking to your 12-year-old, oh, okay, what the hell is talking to my 12-year-old about sex? How is that equivalent to not wanting her to buy a sex toy? False equivalency argument, you fat cow. Ay. Your kids are going to grow up. It's a thing. Well, they're not grown yet. And it's my house. So I have the fucking say. Oh, no, I don't. I only pay the bills. Apparently, this broad doesn't seem to think that the person that pays the bills has any say. Well, of course. You're a man. What a man has to say means nothing when it comes to a wayman. Meanwhile, we sit around talking about how evil men are, toxic masculinity, how a man should really be, writing whole books on how men should be, making fucking Gillette commercials. That Gillette commercial was made, by the way, by a rabid, anti-male feminist woman. Yeah, they get to sit around all day and yammer about how men should be and then impose that view on the world. But us men, we can't have an opinion on waymen. Oh, okay. That seems real equal. It's time to get used to it and accept and embrace the fact that your daughter is a sexual being. While there are scary things about it, there are also wonderful things. Wonderful things that I don't want to have to deal with, listen to, or I'm not going to explore these things. Let my fucking wife deal with that. You ladies want to keep things in-house, keep it in-house. I'll talk to her about the male side. Sure. But I'm not going to buy her dildos. You'll get to see her grow a sense of humor and opinions. Yeah, well, I bet you need a sense of humor, honey. You ain't got no man. You got to have a real good sense of humor about life. Not to kill yourself. Don't fuck that up now about ruining your relationship with her and making her feel like her desires are dirty. Oh, God. It has nothing to do with dirty. Oh, because everything's appropriate, right? Everything's right. There's nothing that's inappropriate. Nothing that's inappropriate. You even got the fucking mainstream media saying that when some 50-year-old broad has relations with an 11-year-old, that it's having sex, and they don't use the word rape, which is what it really is. Oh, it's acceptable. It's just this backwards, traditional, old white man culture that sees that as evil. We'll change that eventually. Yeah. That's perfectly acceptable. Not. Oh, boy. This is where we're going. This shit gets me so angry. I wish we could go back to the days of rotary phones and no internet. Oh, and social media was non-existent, right? Social media was you talk to your neighbors, and you know your neighbors, right? And you have a sense of community. Yeah, I can't have that. No. All right. Ridiculous. All right, let me close that out. Buying 12-year-old sex toys. Oh, my God. Yeah, because that's normal, right? That's totally normal. There's no such thing as normal. Normal is whatever you want normal to be. Yeah, okay. Let's move on, shall we? Oh, this is great. Bernie, I love this story. Students who owe lunch money to Rhode Island will only get jelly sandwiches until debt is paid. Warwick Public Schools say. Yeah. And this is a bad thing, right? This is a bad thing. Oh, you're holding those kids hostage for a measly few dollars. Money is the root of all evil. Just give them food. Yeah. Okay, sure. We can just give so much, we won't have anything either, and then we won't have the ability to create anything more either, and then everybody dies. But hey, you'll feel good about yourself before you die of starvation. Students at Rhode Island School District who owe money on their lunch accounts. Lunch account? Doesn't anybody brown bag it anymore? I brown bagged it. I didn't eat that shitty cafeteria food. I'd make a sandwich. My mother didn't make shit. Crappy mother, by the way. She didn't do anything. She did have a job. She worked, as my father worked. But, I mean, as a wife goes, my God, she was the laziest wife. Good Lord. Talk about neglectful parents. But, yeah, I have a lunch account, brown bagged it. I think I'd take a sandwich, which I would make myself. Got very good at making sandwiches. What else did I bring? I don't know. As little as possible. I didn't want to carry too much. Yeah. But why do you have a lunch account? Your mom can't make something. Why don't you make something? Oh, there's nothing to make. My mom doesn't buy food. Oh, you don't have a sandwich. You don't have the lunch meat and cheese and bread to make a sandwich in the first place. How hard is it to make a sandwich? Come on. Yeah, so students at Rhode Island School District who owe money on their lunch accounts will have the sole option of a sunflower butter and jelly sandwich until they're able to pay their balances, the district announced Sunday. Well, doesn't that cost money too? Should they get anything? I think they should get nothing. And then the mom has to brown bag it for them, and then they don't accrue this fucking debt. Warwick Public Schools, which has more than 9,000 pre-kindergarten through 12th grade students, said the district-wide policy will go into effect May 13th. If money is owed on a paid, free, or reduced lunch account, a sun butter and jello. What the fuck is a sun butter? What the fuck is sun butter? I don't know what sun butter is. And jelly sandwich. Is that a substitute for actual peanut butter? Sun butter. Is it sunflower seed butter? I don't know. Jelly sandwich? But that costs money too. So we'll be given as the lunch choice. So now now schools are giving free food. So it's not enough my tax dollars are paying for your education to indoctrinate these poor kids. Now my tax dollars are paying for sun-buttered and jelly sandwiches for a bunch of fucking, oh, this is great. People who can't pay their debts. Can't pay their debts. So I got to pay your debts. That's nice. That's great. Public schools in Rhode Island are mandated by state law to provide lunches to students. Why? Must be the close proximity to New York. The socialism and liberalism bleeds off into Rhode Island. It's mandated by law. We have to give lunches. What the fuck does school have to do with food? When I think of school, I don't think of food. I think of books and education, which also wasn't happening. I don't think of fucking sun butter and jelly sandwiches or anything else for that matter that's edible. Have your mother get a better job. Have her marry your father. Then you can afford to brown bag it and you don't have to have this fucking lunch account at school and eat their crappy stuff. School food's horrible. God, why would you want your kid to eat that crap in the first place? Of course, if you're a single mom, you're not going to give a shit, right? You're concerned with paying the bills, all right? Well, not all of them. Many of them are, welfare babies, right? And raised on welfare. They themselves are getting a lot of welfare. They're sitting on their asses watching Dr. Phil all day. So... But the legislation that requires schools to provide hot lunches has not yet been passed. Hot lunches? So now it's got to be hot. I don't just have to provide lunch. It has to be hot, too. Why? Can't just give them... You can't... So when this legislation gets passed, I love the entitlement here. You can't even give these kids a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because it's not hot. Just nuke it. Nuke it. I don't reckon that would taste very good, but it's hot. Gets around that little fucking limitation, doesn't it? Nearly 70%, can you imagine a new peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Oh my God, it would be just this ooze. But it's hot. Nearly 70% of school lunches are served for free or at a reduced price. Yeah, that couldn't have anything to do with all the single mothers who can't afford this shit. So, the politicians give them even more free shit. Because think of the children. I swear to God, half this fucking liberal crap gets passed because they play on our sympathy and compassion for kids they're just helpless victims that have no part to play. Right. So if I don't punish them, then I don't punish the mother. And then we have way more of this shit going on. But okay, let's just encourage people to make ever more bad decisions by never, ever, ever penalizing the kids of irresponsible single mothers. Sure. Okay. But some parents who commented on the announcement from Warwick Public Schools said even though they qualify for free lunches, their children still owed money because they had added something to their trays that wasn't included with the free lunch, like milk. Of course, the parents, too lazy, too cheap, too irresponsible to fucking provide their kids with milk. One second. Oh, boy. Woo! I got bad allergies. Bad allergies. Let me pour myself another cup of coffee. All right. There we go. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Other parents noted the policy of giving out jelly sandwiches to students who owed money would likely leave those children embarrassed and prone to bullying, which might actually serve to shame and also motivate the parents to be more responsible. It's called negative consequences, people. You don't reward bad behavior with rewards. There has to be some kind of negative consequence. No. This is absolutely awful. We can't have kids being exposed to possible embarrassment and bullying. Yeah, because they're all a bunch of snowflakes. Our school shouldn't be in the business of shaming children. There's that word again, shaming. What is it with these people and shit? This word shows up everywhere with these leftists. You know why they want to get rid of the idea of shaming people and shame? Because these people are shameful. These people are shameful. They want to steal your money. They want to steal your labor. They want to steal your labor, make you into a slave. You have to serve me. I don't have to provide anything to society. I want your shit, and I need it, so I should have to take it. And I shouldn't feel shame. Shame might actually motivate people. If enough people feel shame and are shamed, it might motivate those who are shaming them and seeing, because, you feel shame because you've done something wrong. If you eliminate the shame aspect, then you eliminate the idea in people's mind that something wrong has been done. Reintroduce shame. Make certain actions shameful as they have naturally been for eons. And then you introduce responsibility for your own actions. No! I can't be responsible for my actions. It's always somebody else's fault. Just give the kids lunch. Yeah, just give it to them. Just give me money. Sure, here's money. You want my car too? You want my underwear? You want my clothes? Want my job? Yeah, they do. Oh, boy. No, they don't want to work. That's right. Other parents noted that the policy of giving out jelly sandwiches to students who owed money would likely... Okay, I already read that. Sorry. We can't spring for a chicken patty for a hungry kid. No, we can't. I'm sorry. I have no more to give you. What? You know what? What do you mean we? What is this we? Whose kid is it? Is it my kid? Yeah, this is why they want the collective responsibility, because then they don't have to take personal, individual responsibility. I've made a lot of bad life decisions, and I don't have enough money to buy my kid lunch. So suddenly, it's not my problem, it's our problem. Why can't we spring for a chicken patty? No, why can't you spring for a chicken patty? Why didn't you marry the father of your kid? Why didn't you choose a guy who didn't have 57 tattoos and the only part of his body that wasn't covered with tattoo art was his fucking nose? Why didn't you choose a guy who had a good, stable job and could support you and your kid? Why didn't you have any virtue that would attract a man that also has virtue? Huh? Oh, no. It's the fault of all these cheapskates out there who don't want to pay for my bad decisions. What if this is their only meal of the day? Oh, well. If you give a shit about your kid, you should have made better choices. And maybe if your kid suffers, you'll choose to start making better decisions. But no, we can't have any consequences to the bad actions of the adults imposed on the kids. And then the adults don't have to change. Yeah, let's subsidize the retarded actions of the parents. A sunflower butter and jelly sandwich is really not a balanced lunch. Oh fucking well. I swear to God. How is this my problem? I read this story initially and I was shocked. I'm also sweating like a pig. I forgot to turn on my AC. Fuck! I'm sitting here, hot room, drinking hot coffee. Fuck me! I'm going to keep going. I don't care if I sweat to death. Just give the kids a lunch. Why don't you give them a lunch, bitch? It's not a balanced diet. How is that my problem? Why don't you make enough money to give your kid a balanced diet? Said Nicole Silber, a pediatric nutritionist. Again, we're not a collective. We're not the Borg. It's not my responsibility to provide your kid with a balanced lunch. If your kid starves, too fucking bad. People have to have the ability to turn their heart to stone, okay? And at times deny and just not feel this compassion, this altruism, this compassion, okay? It's not always a good thing. It's not always a good thing. You have to learn to detach yourself from emotions if you want to make the right decisions that serve the greater good. Sure, okay, one kid starves. Oh, yeah. Oh, we have to change the policies for every motherfucking person in a whole goddamn state just to help a handful of people, and then everybody suffers. No! Let those few people suffer the consequences of their bad actions, and then maybe they'll change. And in turn, future people won't make those bad actions because they know there isn't a safety net there to catch them if they fuck up in the same way. All right. I'm going to move on. Final story. Oh, man. Woo! Last time I'm going to forget to turn on the AC. See? Forgot to turn on AC. I'm suffering the consequences of my thoughtlessness. I'm sweating a lot. I'm uncomfortable. Consequence? I'm uncomfortable. Next time, I'll make a better decision. Now, if I was a socialist, I'd be blaming all of you for making me forget. And then I would order one of you to invent an automatic fucking air conditioner turner-oner that automatically turns on my air conditioner when I start doing a stream, because I shouldn't be held responsible for my needs. My comfortability. It is so stupid. All right, let's move on. Final story. Oh, I love this. CNN guest, when a woman gets pregnant, that is not a human being inside her. What is it, a car? A rock? A pig man? Are you being experimented on? Are you one of the gestators for pig men that Alex Jones was talking about? The pig people experiments? Are you perhaps a pig woman in disguise? I wonder. Maybe she's not a human. Let's see. Yep. Yep. Pig woman. Pig woman alert. Pig woman alert. So she's a pig. She's a pig woman. She's not human herself. That's the only way that her baby, which I don't think she has kids. If she does have kids, this bitch hit the wall hard because, damn, I can't imagine any man wanting that. So, look at the hair. She's in Sinead O'Connor territory. I mean, she's got hair, so, Sinead O'Connor, fucking cue ball. But that's some short-ass hair. That right there. Red flags are fucking being waved around. You know this is an uber feminist, all right? Yeah, she's not that Michelle John who hates white men feminist. That was even shorter and multicolored. If you encounter a broad that has hair even shorter than that, and we're talking 2 or 3 different hair colors all intermixed, yeah, she's screaming, man-hating, uber-feminist, avoid me, my vagina has teeth. It will chomp your cock off if you come close to me. All right, so just by looking at her picture, we verified she's a pig woman. Okay, so any baby she has certainly will not be human. So CNN guest Christine Quinn. Wasn't that the name of a show with some feminist abroad in the Wild Wild West working as a fucking doctor? Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. Yeah. That good-looking broad that became a doctor in the fucking Wild Wild West, and everybody accepted her, and she was smarter and more resilient than everybody, and she nabbed that fucking good-looking guy Sully. Yeah. Yeah, because men really like strong, independent career waymen, especially back in 1870. Ooh, it's believable. That's real believable. Yeah. Okay. Christine Quinn said during a discussion Monday night about pro-life state-level heartbeat bills that when a woman gets pregnant, that she's not pregnant with a human being. Well, I'm confused here. How exactly are we procreating then if we don't have humans? Has It's a mystery. The stork is real. I didn't come from my mother. Some fucking stork flew to our house and laid down a little fucking basket, and I was in it. Yeah. Humans don't come from other humans. You silly man. Christine, what's the concern with what was just passed in Georgia? Waymen might actually be held accountable and have to take responsibility for their actions and not ride the cock carousel and have to actually find a good man. What's the concern? And what you, oh my God. All right. And what you may wind up seeing more of, a state passing through its legislature a more restrictive right to reproductive acts. Reproductive rights such as abortion. Okay, well, abortion's not a right. You don't have the right to club people on the head. I don't get this. What do you mean right? How's an abortion a right? I love how they try to label this thing inside the woman as an other. Now, granted, okay, I will admit that there's a certain point where it's not what you would define as a person, but it's human. It's human DNA. It is human, sweetheart, okay? If you whack my finger off, it's a human finger. Now, granted, it's not a human being as of yet in the sense of a fully developed person, but it's getting there. And once you can detect a heartbeat, once it has a heart that's beating, yeah, okay, it's a human. You don't get to say it's not human, okay? I will admit there needs to be some kind of delineation, and there has to be a certain point where it becomes and is defined as a person. I don't believe that life starts at conception. That's a religious belief that isn't really supported by science. Immediately when the sperm hit the egg, kaboom! God in heaven snaps his finger, blows his nose, or farts out a spirit that goes down and inhabits that fetus. Yeah, I don't I don't subscribe to that bullshit. So that's more of a spiritual or religious belief, but you do have to have some kind of cutoff point. And it shouldn't be 9 months. Which it is now in many places. Hell, you got some Democrats talking about euthanasia-ing the kid. Well, post-birth abortion, it's reasonable when you think about it. Just you have the baby, we'll just let it starve. We'll just let the baby starve. We won't intervene to keep the baby alive. That's reasonable. How do you excuse that? You pig woman? So she has a problem with the 6-week abortion thing. Yeah. Oh well. We have to put some constraints on these feels over facts, fee people who have no logic or reason, who are destroying society. These so-called heartbeat bills are exactly what you said. 6-week bills. How about you don't have sex with a man without protection? How about you make sure he uses a condom, or that you use birth control, or that both get used? Yeah, a woman only has like 18, 19 forms of birth control. God forbid you have to use one. God forbid you have to be responsible. God forbid you have to be careful about who you sleep with. Oh no, I can't limit myself to less than 2 men in my life. 1 man. No, I can't actually do the work. Make the effort to find a good man. I just want to find some sucker and to get myself pregnant. And then he has to pay out the nose, and then I don't have to deal with him. I love it. Oh boy. I don't want to get pregnant by the wrong guy. I want to be able to sleep around and find the right sucker. I don't want to have some douchebag loses baby who I just happen to sleep with because I like this 6-pack. Because, I don't want to have to be forced to do that because it'll stretch out my poo and it'll significantly reduce my sexual marketplace value, and then I won't be able to later on find that really, really good sucker who makes 6 figures and get him on the hook to pay for my kid. Yeah. Then I might actually have to find a good man. Because if I have too many kids out of wedlock, it completely ruins my sexual marketplace value. I'll never find a good man who I can get on the hook to support me because he won't even come near me because I already got 1 or 2 kids that I wasn't able to abort because of these goddamn restrictive laws making me be responsible. They, for all intents and purposes, aren't running around Roe versus Wade. Okay, first of all, states can make laws deciding what happens in their goddamn state. And Roe versus Wade was a lie. The lady that was involved in that case that was supposedly raped, she lied about being raped. And the whole rest of her life, she dedicated herself to getting Roe versus Wade turned over. Roe versus Wade is perhaps the worst goddamn thing to happen to America. Made women so irresponsible, destroyed the nuclear family. Ugh. Of course, feminists love it. You get to be as miserable as us. Yeah, future women. We couldn't find men and be happy, so neither can you. If they had oily mustaches they could twist, they would be. And some of them do, by the way, which is why they couldn't find a man. And a clear attempt to make abortion illegal across the country. Some abortion case is going to make it to the federal courts, and Roe v. Wade will get overturned. Quinn said, "That's what they are, and we've seen in states where they've been passed already, courts strike them out or enjoin them. Eventually, one of these cases is going to go to the Supreme Court. Roe v. Wade, bye-bye. There's a clear attempt to take decisions about a woman's body." Wait. It's very interesting. By the way, in this article, she says that the thing inside her that's not human is a part of her. This is great. I love the logic. How can it be a part of you if it's not human? What is it, like a gallstone? No grasp of logic. Well, she's a wayman. Of course. This is a clear attempt to take decisions about a woman's body. What about the baby's body, which is human, even though you want to say it's some kind of lizard man or pig human, pig person? It's not human, it's a pig person. This is like something out of an Alex Jones show, right, where he's talking about pig people, which is actually true. Scientists have merged human DNA and pigs and created pigmen. You think I'm lying? Go do some research. It's actually true. Well, not pig, man. I mean, we're not talking about some guy walking around on two legs, but he's got hoof feet and a little pigtail. No, but they have introduced human DNA into pigs with some startling results in those pigs' intelligence. You should go do some research. But anyway, yeah. I guess she thinks that, these are non-human entities living in human beings, is what she's saying. So it couldn't be part of your body. Anyway, we've seen in states where they've been passed, courts strike them and join them. Quinn became hostile towards CNN contributor Rick Santorum and Cuomo and jumped in and sided with Quinn. Okay, wait a second. That's poorly written. So later in the interview, during an exchange with Santorum, Quinn said, "When a woman gets pregnant, that is not a human being inside of her. It's part of her body." That says it all. Okay, so it can't be part of her if it's not human. It's human. It's just not a human being. So what she might be trying to say in a very rudimentary way, lacking nuance and sophistication, is that it's not reached the stage of development. Perhaps that's what she's trying to say, that it could qualify as an actual person or autonomous being. At the same time, though, women like this make the argument that it's not its own autonomous separate being. They make this argument right up until birth, which is clearly not the case. Yes, it's dependent on the mother to survive, but that doesn't in any way negate the fact that it's an autonomous separate being. The baby is dependent on the mother and the father to survive until it's 18 years old. And sometimes it's dependent on them longer. You got these fucking millennials living with their fucking parents at 25 years old. They still haven't left the fucking nest. Does that mean they're not people? It's a very strange definition. I mean, if you are using the idea of dependency to somehow label that child or that baby or that fetus as non-human, well, then kids are not human. 5-year-olds are not human. 10-year-olds are not human. It literally makes no sense. No sense at all. I'm going to end the show on that note. What do you think of this pig woman Quinn? She don't look human either. I will agree with her. I will agree with her in regards to her personally. If she has kids, they will not be human. They'll perhaps in 10, 15, 20 years be able to appear on Alex Jones' show and talk about how they were part of the government's secret experiments to produce pig men. So let me know what you think in the comments section. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like the raw, red-pilled nature of my content and would like me to make more of it, please consider donating to my channel. I get no monetization from any of the platforms I'm on, so any help that you could provide would be greatly appreciated. I got 2 Patreons. I have one that's once a month, and one is per piece. The per piece, I post 3 of these call-in shows every week. So that's 12 per piece. You could donate like 50 cents. You could donate just 50 cents. Can you afford 50 cents? What do you buy? What can you buy with 50 cents? You can't buy a soda anymore. I remember when you go buy sodas for like a nickel or a dime or something. You go to the fucking machine and you get the glass bottle of Coke. I guess that's not a thing anymore. But yeah, what do you buy with 50 cents? A pack of gum? Can you afford a pack of gum? You can afford a pack of gum. A few packs of gum a fucking week. $1.50 a week. It'd be like $6 a month. Or even just $1 or $2 a month. So my once a month Patreon is patreon.com/realistphilosopher. That's patreon.com/realistphilosopher. And you could donate $1 or $2 a month, kind of like a subscription service to show your support. And if you want to donate per piece, it's patreon.com/therealistphilosopher.com. That's therealistphilosopher. Or you could just go to my website, therealistphilosopher.com/donate, and those links both are there. Also, follow me on social media. Let me get the face of this pig woman out of here. She's starting to make me feel nauseous just looking at her. You can see all my social media addresses at the bottom of the screen. Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Instagram. I'm on them all. I'm particularly prolific on Facebook and Twitter, responding to lots and lots and lots of leftist nonsense. And I also post links and updates whenever I post a new piece of content. So I really recommend you follow me on those 2 platforms, if nothing else. Also, if you'd like to be on the show to discuss a particular topic, or want me to discuss a particular topic without you being on the show, you can email me at admin@therealistphilosopher.com. That's admin@therealistphilosopher.com. Sorry I didn't get to the phones. It seems like this show's becoming less and less of a call-in show. I'm sorry. I was on a roll. You got to give me that. I was on a fucking roll. When I get on a roll, I totally forget about opening up Skype. I will next show, I promise. So you want to call in and be on the show and talk about whatever I'm discussing, or if you want to comment on some of the stuff I talked about on this episode during the next episode, make sure to make a list of all the things you want to say to me, and use Skype to call in next time. My Skype is The Realist Philosopher. That's The Realist Philosopher. I promise I'll open up Skype next time, and you guys can call in and give your opinions. And that's it. I will see you tomorrow at the same time, same channel. I am The Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.